All right, let's talk about the Cerulean credit card. This is marketed towards people with less than stellar credit. In this video, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of this credit card, if there are any other options out there, and what can you expect if you do sign up for this credit card. All right, so the Cerulean card is marketed by Continental Finance, and it's backed by the Bank of Missouri. What you should know about this card is that right now, what I could find is that it's invitation only. So even if I wanted to go on their website and apply for this card, I'm not able to. You may get an offer in the mail, which means that they pre-screened you and kind of figured out your credit score ahead of time. So, the downside is if you're interested in this card and you don't have an invite, you can't really just go sign up for it. The good news is if you did get an invite in the mail, that generally means you're pre-approved for the card and you should be able to get approved without any issue. As I mentioned, this credit card is for people who are looking to either build their credit from scratch, meaning you really don't have any credit history to begin with, or you're trying to repair a bad credit score. And we'll get into that. This card can help you build your credit. The question is, are there any other cards that are better that can also help build your credit? And we'll talk about that at the All right, I'm going off screen a little bit so we can talk about the pros of this credit card. So the first pro is that there is an initial credit limit between $300 and $1,000. So you could have a credit limit just starting out of $1,000, which is pretty good. Now, this is a MasterCard, so it's accepted anywhere that MasterCard is accepted, which is a lot of places, right? So good news there. The second bit of good news here is that you can double your credit limit after making on-time payments for 6 months. In other words, if you charge the card and pay your bill on time for the first 6 months, you are eligible to double your credit limit. However, there is a little bit of fine print on the website that I could find that says the maximum credit limit that you can have with this card is $2,000, which does make sense, but just an FYI right there. And then, arguably, if you're trying to rebuild your score, the most important bit of information here is that this credit card does report to the big three credit bureaus. So if you are making on-time payments, which you should, you're going to get credit. They're going to report to the big three, and that will definitely help increase your score. Now, the potential downside to that, of course, is if you have a late payment, then that late payment will also get reported to the big three. So obviously keep that in mind. The last pro of this card is that you do get a free monthly credit score. I couldn't find out exactly where that credit score is from, if it's a Vantage score, if it's a FICO score, but you do get a free monthly credit score with this card. All right, let's talk about some of the cons. And you can see on our list here that most of the cons fall into fees, okay? So there is a $99 annual fee, which is definitely the biggest drawback of using this card because there are plenty of other quote-unquote bad credit cards that do not have an annual fee, and we'll talk about that. There is also an additional, a $30 fee if you're trying to add an authorized user or you just need another card for whatever reason, they're gonna bang you with a $30 fee there. If you do miss a payment, not only will it get reported to the credit bureaus, they're going to ding you with a $40 fee on top of that. And then another big con here is that there are 0 rewards offered with the Cerulean credit card. And that's important to keep in mind because there are some credit cards for quote unquote bad credit where you actually can earn rewards. So between the fees and the no rewards, definitely something to keep. All right, let's talk about reviews. Again, I can't get this card because I was not sent an offer, so I can't really give you a hands-on review of the card, but they are on Trustpilot, and to be honest, I was somewhat surprised by how good the reviews are for the Cerulean MasterCard. So you can see we're on Trustpilot right here, almost 3,000 reviews. They're a verified company with an average score of 4.8 out of 5, 94% 98% of the reviews give this card a 5-star review. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. We have to give credit where credit is due. They're getting excellent online reviews. You know, I'm not sure if that's a result of some people not being aware that there are other cards that don't have the annual fee. There are other cards that do offer rewards, but it's only fair to show that their online reputation, at least on Trustpilot, is really, really good. So that should give you confidence if you decide to apply for the. All right, I told you I would talk about alternatives. You know, these are arguably the 3 best credit cards if you're in a quote unquote bad credit situation. The first one is the Capital One secured MasterCard. Now, this is a secured card, which means you need to make an upfront deposit, but there is no annual fee with this card, and it can help you build credit. Number 2 on our list here is the Discover It secured card. Again, all 3 of these cards are secured credit cards, which means you may need to make an upfront deposit, but this one has no annual fee, no maintenance fee, and you actually earn cash back between 1 to 2% on the Discover It secured card. So no annual fee plus cash back is really, really good, especially for a card kind of in this tier. The third one on my list is the Citi secured MasterCard. Again, it's a secure card, but there is no annual fee. So what I like about these 3 cards, no annual fee, and with the Discover card, you even get to earn cash back. So, you know, these are 3 options that I would probably look into first before the Cerulean card. So bottom line on the Cerulean credit card, from my point of view, there are better credit cards out there in this tier, but if you cannot get approved for those 3 cards that I discussed before, again, there are upsides to the Cerulean card, namely that they report to the credit bureaus. You get a decent credit limit, and they have really good online reviews. So all of those things are working in your favor. You know, the bottom line is you want to start getting a good credit history, a good payment history. So if the Cerulean is the best you can do, I would recommend signing up for it, even though it does have the $95 annual fee and there are no rewards. You know, at this stage in the game, it's all about getting those on-time payments reported to the credit bureau so you can raise your score, and this credit card definitely helps do that. All right, guys, hope that was helpful. See you next time.